The Welsh national flag is probably one of the most recognizable national flags in the world. It has a red dragon in it. Speaking of dragon, another country is also known for this mythical creature. Yes, you've guessed it, China. But the two dragons do not look quite the same. Chinese dragons look more like this. Just like you can see the Welsh red dragon everywhere, Chinese people love using the image of dragons in daily life. You can see them everywhere, in reliefs on palace walls and columns, in paintings in China, in public sculpture and gardening, and in fashion. Ooh, that's a gorgeous shirt. Of course, Chinese people don't say dragon. The character for it is long. It's pronounced long. Try to say it with me. Long. It looks like this in ancient writing. Quite wriggly, isn't it? Just like the image, the character long is very commonly used as well. Many people have long in their names. For example, you might know the Chinese kung fu actor Jackie Chan. His name is Chen Long, literally to become a dragon. If Jackie Chan wants to become a dragon, it means that dragons are good creatures, right? Did you know that in folk tales, some animals can also become dragons? They are carps, a very big freshwater fish. The story came from the Yellow River area, where the Yellow River, naturally abundant with sand in its water, is not very fish-friendly. However, carps, being tough and strong, swim against the stream every spring. The carps are really just a migratory fish swimming back to its birthplace to mate. But their efforts and struggle in the rushing water moved the ancient people. They imagined the fish to swim back and pass the most precarious point, jumping out of water, becoming dragons, and flying high into the sky. Later on, this tale became the idiom carps jumping over the dragon gate, meaning people of not so prominent background achieving success and changing their destiny. It's like you getting all A+ in your A level and going off to uni and then off to become PM. A dragon is a mythical creature, and in essence, it is really a combination of different animals. While you can see that this dragon has the body like a lizard's and the wings like a bat's, a Chinese dragon has a long and slender body like that of a snake. Typically, a Chinese dragon should have crayfish's eyes, stag's horns, ox's nose, dog's mouth, catfish's whiskers, lion's mane, eagle's claws, fish's scales, and snake's body. Altogether, the characters of 9 animals make a dragon. How did this image come into being? Well, according to legend, it was because of a big, strong tribe conquering the smaller tribes, each bringing their own totem and adding the elements together, creating the final image that is the Chinese dragon. This happened at the very dawn of the Chinese civilization, and the combined tribes later became China's very first kingdom. That's why sometimes Chinese people call themselves 龙的传人, the descendants of dragons. For a dragon is, after all, our first totem after everybody agreed to live happily ever after without fighting. And of course, the strongest tribe was the tribe with the snake totem, for the dragon's body is that of a snake. To think we could end up with a totally different image if the dog tribe won. Speaking of descendants, Chinese dragons do give birth to little dragons. But contrary to this image, there is no mention of dragons laying eggs in Chinese mythology. Ancient tales speak of a powerful dragon having 9 children, all with very different characteristics, and none was a dragon. They were all different mythical creatures with different names. So, the moral of this story is that even siblings from the same family can vary greatly in their talents and personality. Next time your parents say something like this, tell them that. The totem theory is one way of explaining the origin of the Chinese dragon. Another theory is about this book, 山海经, or the Book of Mountains and Seas. This book provides an ancient geographic record of China and its surrounding areas, though it may not appear so accurate when you compare it to our maps today. 山海经 also included many ancient mythologies, such as how the world began and how humans were created. as well as all kinds of strange and bizarre creatures. Dragons appeared in this book as the mounts for the very first kings. Yes, the first kings didn't ride horses. Horses are simply not cool enough. It also noted that there were people who were responsible for keeping dragons for the kings. Nobody knows when exactly Shanghai Jing was written, nor the exact authors. But it had definitely come into existence long before 200 BC, which makes dragons more than 2,000 years old. Therefore, the totem theory tells us how the Chinese dragon gets its image, and the Shanghai Jing theory tells us what these creatures are there for. Because they were somewhat related to the first kings, dragons gradually became a symbol of royalty for the later emperors, and the golden dragon often appeared in their fine clothes. But in fact, as it evolved over the years, this fantastic beast came to settle down in folk tales as a mythical public servant of raining and waters. According to China's indigenous religion, Taoism, dragons are in charge of raining and all kinds of waters. This means that dragons are changeable in their size as well. All waters, be it big or small, a pond or an ocean, has a dragon living in it. Its job is to make sure that the water does not flood. Good boy, stay put, don't flood. And for those dragons living in the sky, their job is to make it rain. That's why you often see images where dragons, though without wings, are flying among the clouds, or dragons shooting water out of their mouths. In the old days, people used to build Long Wang Miao, the Dragon King's temple, to pray for rainfall in a dry year. So, like your mom and dad, a dragon has work to do too. So, to Chinese people, dragon is an important beast. Its very image stands for the spirit of unity, that different things and people can coexist to create something beautiful. And its water or rain-related nature reassures you that it is working hard to make the elements work in your favor. Not to mention its connection with royalty, which gives it an air of grandeur. No wonder Chinese people are fond of dragons, and everybody sees the Chinese dragon as a symbol of Chinese culture.